Perfect.
Hey,
Hey, Gabriel, how you doing?
hi.
Good to see you, buddy. All right, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes to see if others log on, and then in about say 5 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes, we start.
Sorry, Coach Sam. Alex
Yeah.
hanged up before. I'm going to show you why he had to hang up.
No problem.
But I'm going to mute it because I have no idea what they're talking about, but I'll flip the camera.
He went to play.
I'm getting him to be outside, which is very important, but it's this is the problem. He doesn't do anything else. Can you say hi to Coach Sam, buddy?
At least he's having fun. That's good.
Can you say hi to Coach Sam?
Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Who are you calling?
It's his coach. It's his soccer time. I'm gonna flip it over.
Isn't the water cool?
Oh God, no! They were here yesterday. Mind you, though, we were all here until 9:30 at night, swimming.
Nice. Where are you guys exactly?
We're on. So it's the end of Rice Lake. We're on Trent River.
Okay.
And then that's his. Oh, hold on, wrong thing. That's the latest toy. That's why his father's his role model, because Daddy gets to have all the fun. You guys don't need him for this call, right? It's just
No.
Okay, perfect.
Who's another? Ask Coach Sam how he's doing, what he's doing, how's he gonna be practice.
I don't know. Is it muted?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah, fish.
Muted it?
Mm-hmm.
But we can hear what he's doing?
Não, está ao contrário. Ele pode estar a ouvir quando não estás a ouvir a ele.
I get it.
Percebes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely hear you, Gabriel. So what have you been doing, Gabriel?
Diz a verdade que andas a fazer, Gabriel. Diz lá. Nada.
Nada?
I don't know.
Is it nada?
Yes.
Yes? You gotta be doing something.
It's Fortnite.
Oh my God.
Fortnite and tablets. Não é, Gabriel?
That's what my sister does.
Yeah, a lot of kids play that game, Fortnite. I don't know much about it, but I'm sure you could tell me.
Então, pessoal, what Coach, what Fortnite's about?
What is Fortnite about? What is the game about?
I forget. I haven't played it in a long time. That's
Since 3 hours ago?
PlayStation game?
yeah. Computer. That's all.
You haven't been kicking the ball around?
Hmm?
You haven't been kicking the ball around?
I went to the pool a couple times.
Yeah. Are you playing soccer? Kicking the ball? No.
No. Do you have one?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Bring it to practice next week.
Do you remember where Brock is?
Yeah.
Remember where Sports is? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's 6:06. We're just gonna start off. This is being recorded, so we can send it out after to those who also missed it and everybody else. Thank you all for participating in today's parents meeting. It's always a pleasure seeing old faces and some new faces on these calls. Ideally, we would like to have a face-to-face interaction, but modern problem requires modern solutions. So here we are. The purpose of this meeting is just to let you know what you should be expecting when you return to the field next week. As you already know, we're currently in phase 1, and that's something I'm going to touch on later on. Helping me today is going to be Gonzalo and Megan, who will be joining us later on. If you have any questions as I go through this presentation, please do not hesitate to just interrupt, or you can save the question for the end if there's any. So ideally, our season was supposed to start back in May, but due to what was happening and the restrictions that was imposed, we're now forced to start in July 7th. That's going to be next week for the academy, the active start and the academy group. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the club and what we're about, the club philosophy, and then I'm just going to focus more on the active start and the academy group only. So if you're on the rep team, you don't really need to be here, just so you just have an idea. So the mission statement of the club, one of our goals is to use soccer education to bring out the greatness in our youth and families. We try to use soccer as a way to teach our kids to be the best versions of themselves, and helping them grow is, for us, is like living our prints on them. The vision is, one of our visions to be recognized as the Soccer Academy who teaches the game to teach life. We're very big on discipline. We're very big on the kids understanding they have to be who they are. They don't have to be somebody else. They have to create and walk their own path. We want them to understand that good things don't come easy. You have to work hard for everything that you want in life. And we try to make them understand the parents are investing so much in them to give them this opportunity. And it's also best for them to work hard to be able to attain and make their parents proud. We want them to understand that they should never fail to try. They're going to make mistakes, but we're here to learn. And we want them to be very focused on their goals, but very flexible with it, because it's going to take time for them to go there and get there. We also want to develop a clear path for our players, whether to obtain university scholarships or option for Canadian and worldwide teams. This is something for especially the rep teams from the U8 to the U18s, where we've already had some success there with some players. We have Jamal right now, who is on the Ryerson team. We have Lucas Diaz, who is with Sporting in Portugal. We have Daniel Costa, who's in Academica, and we have other guys with the TFC team at this very moment. So that is, I'm proud to say that with our mission statement and our vision, we've been able to have some success stories. And for us, the success stories is not just somebody who is able to make it to all these teams. I can give an example of one of our head referees right now, Brian Lee, who used to be a player here, who just wanted to play till 18, and after that just focused on school. And he's now working back in New York, doing finance in New York. So he's also a success story for us. So it's not just football related, it's about everything. We're trying to model I wouldn't say the perfect gentleman, but we're trying to build men for the society, men and women for the society, if we can. The club philosophy, or the playing philosophy, is pretty much based on this pyramid, where the most important is at the bottom, which is the individual, and then the least important for us is the results. And in this case, the results, it's more focused on the rep teams where they play the games and other stuff. So focusing on the active stats and the academy group, we're just going to focus on the individual at the bottom here. And I'm going to explain a little bit more. The main idea in regards to the individual is our coaches understand that each athlete is a unique person in a working process. They're not a finished product. That's why the kids are coming here. We have kids from 4 years old to 18 years old. And even the 18-year-olds are not perfect. We want the parents to understand that they're going to make mistakes. but they're going to learn and they're going to grow. And we are here to help them learn and grow. I can use Gabriel for an example. Gabriel has been with us for the last, I think, 2.5 years, 3 years. And hopefully he's going to continue to be with us for many years to come. And that is the goal for us, to see the progression from one end, from when he was to where he's going to be. That is what we try to do. And we understand that each kid is going to be different. They might be the same age, but it will take longer for some to get there. And we're here to make sure we help everybody from the bottom to the top. We don't leave anybody in between. Just because somebody is better than the other doesn't mean we're going to focus on the person who is there and then forget about the other one. We all try to bring everybody up, and then we all grow together. So especially for the Active Stats and the Academy group, that is the main focus. As you already know, the Active Start is from 4 to 6 year olds, and the Academy from the 7 to 12 year olds. The main objectives and purpose of the Active Start and Academy program is the focus will be on developing physical literacy, so movement skills like running, jumping, balancing, and all that, and also becoming friends with the ball. But for us, the biggest focus is for them to have fun. We want it to be, I know I've done my job when at the end of the season, and the kid told me they have fun and they want to play soccer again the following season. That means everything is done, our job is done, there's nothing to worry about. And to give you an idea of how we're going to be working with them this season, for the Active Study Academy group, everybody always has a ball. We have this one-on-one approach where we want them to get familiar with the ball. No matter what they do, everything they're going to do is with the ball. They're too young to be worried about teamwork and passing the ball and trying to score. They're going to have some small-sided games, so some 1v1s, 2v2s, depending on the age group. Some 2v1s, 3v1s, depending on the age group. But the idea is for them to be able to have fun and get comfortable with the ball. Ball mastery skills with the left and the right foot, getting comfortable with it, improve their motor skills and coordination. Last indoor season, some of the parents over here already saw it, where the focus was, some of the activities we did was focused on them, just being able to be coordinated and balanced. Playing with the skipping rope, something that a lot of people don't do now, is something that we take seriously because it helps them develop their coordination and all that stuff. We want them to be very creative and very imaginative. So playing games where it requires them to also think and make decisions. But overall, it has to be a positive environment for them to have fun. For the schedule, the regular schedule is for the Active Stats, it's from Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 6:45. And for the Academy, 6 to 7 p.m. However, due to the COVID pandemic and the restrictions from Ontario Soccer, the practice has to be only 45 minutes. So for the phase 1, it's just going to be from 6 to 6:45. And when we move to phase 2 and 3, we go back to the 6 to 7 for the Academy group. Phase 1 is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to touch on that later on in the presentation and how the setup is. Phase 2 is where they can interact with each other and get to play different kind of games that looks more soccer related. So as you already know, we are currently over here in phase 1, and I'm going to pass it on to Megan to explain the return to play protocols we have in place for everybody to have an idea of what it is. Just hold on a second. Megan, unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me? All right, so my name is Megan Purr. I'm the club administrator for Sporting FC. We started yesterday our screening for symptoms, both our players and our coaches, because ultimately our top priority is the safety of our athletes and also of our staff members. So upon arrival, each player will be asked to submit, if they haven't already, their waiver documents. So there are 3 in total. Please be aware that all of them require a signature. So if you don't have one, then I will probably be coming up to you during the practice. If an individual says yes during our screening process to any of the questions, so over here I have just like a quick sample. They're too small for you to see maybe, but if a parent says yes to any of these questions, they won't be allowed to practice for 14 days. Parents are encouraged, or they're not allowed actually for this phase, to enter Brockton Stadium. So the only people actually entering Brockton Stadium for this phase are players and staff members. Players, you're welcome to watch around the perimeter of Brockton Stadium. We're gonna have hand sanitizers. There's hand sanitizer stations all over the stadium. As soon as players enter the stadium, they're also given hand sanitizer. Only players who have signed the waivers will be allowed to practice. So unfortunately, if you show up to the first practice without the waivers being signed, you will not be allowed to practice, as it is a liability issue for us. In addition to the waivers, everybody is also required to sign in and sign out, so that we can keep better track of who's in the facility. The map. So this map here shows the entrance and exit points. So the entrance is on Croatia Street. The exit will be on Brock Street. If you are coming with a vehicle, please be mindful of the neighbors. So yesterday during our practice, a lot of our players were escorted via the sidewalk where parents met them on the exit point. Yep.
Right.
Does anybody have any questions?
Okay. So
sorry, there's one question. Will screening questions be asked every section and be asked of the players? Yes. It's a mandatory requirement for us.
So yeah, for phase one, every day, that's always going to be the protocol until we're told we can't do it anymore. So for every practice, the main entrance is on Brock Street, where we normally coming from, and then we exit from the Croatia side. Wait, there's another question here. No, I think that's it.
Will the questions be sent to us via survey, or will it be a form that we'll submit when we get in? How will that be handled?
One of the graders will ask the questions. They're very straightforward. So I do a temperature check. So the first one's already asked. Cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, runny nose. Has anyone in your household experienced any of these symptoms in the last 14 days? Have you traveled outside of Canada within the last 14 days? Have you been in contact with someone that has COVID within the last 14 days? Are you being investigated for COVID? And have you tested positive for COVID within the last 10 days? So they will be asked as soon as you enter the gate.
Parents are welcome to walk with the kids to the entrance for the screening. We understand the 4-year-olds are not going to be able to answer such questions, so the parents have to be there. And then after that, there's going to be somebody to just show them where to go after the screening process. And then the parents are going to have to be on the outside, and then we go from there. So there's another question. Are washrooms available for players? Yes. So the washrooms will be available for players, up to 2 players at a time. Someone is always monitoring the flow in and out of the washroom. The only thing that is not available to the athletes at this time are the change rooms. So that's why we ask that all players come already dressed in their uniform, minimize the belongings that they're bringing, and then afterwards, it's just easier for the transitions in and out of the stadium. But the players do take their water bottle with them and their personal soccer ball. So yes, that's the other thing I was going to say. When the players are coming in, they're welcome to bring their water bottles and their soccer ball, ideally no backpacks, which makes it easier. They're going to take the soccer ball to the field, and they're going to have the ball and the water bottle on the field. So it's going to be right there with them. They're going to have their own area where they put everything. they don't get it mixed with anybody else, and then they can use it. For the practice, to give you an idea, so focusing on just this quarter over here, each player is going to be in a box where they can put their water bottles or their backpacks anywhere outside their box. There's going to be another 2 meters between each confined space for them to participate in. The coaches are not going to be in the boxes with them. Coaches are going to be over here, walking through the spaces there. So then they don't come in contact with anybody for this first phase. Coaches are always going to wear face masks, and they're also going to handle the equipment. So the kids are not allowed to touch the cones or pick up the cones or anything. Is it going to be difficult for the little ones? Yes. Even for me personally, it's going to be difficult for me because I'm more of a hands-on person, especially when I'm on the field. And I know how the 4-year-olds like to move around and be with their friends and jump on each other and have a blast. It's going to be a tough one, but we're going to try and make it work with the number of coaches we're going to have available for each practice sessions.
So the one question was, when are the uniforms available for pickup? So a date and time will be sent out.
We have, there's another slide here that talks about the uniform pickup for the new players. So I'm just going to get to that real quick. Then we can go from there. Any questions about the practice so far?
Yeah, the one question was, will there be markings on the ground so they know where to play in?
Yes. So far for yesterday's practice, we had cones on the ground. So everybody knew the area they were playing in, and it was different colored cones. So it's like, we tell you, say, I'm going to use Favish as an example. So Gabriel comes in, Gabriel, hey, you're going to be in the orange box on the side of the field. Gabriel goes to the orange box. The next box next to him is a totally different color, and the one up above is also a totally different color. So then all the kids know the boxes they're going in. And when I tell you the green box, the blue box, the orange box, or the yellow box, it's all going to be totally different colors. So there's no way the kids are going to end up mixing themselves. Any other question? No? Okay. Team Snap. So we're going to ask the parents to update like player pictures and player availability. This helps us to know who's going to be at the practice before, so we can plan accordingly. And also, if you're not able to show up for the practice for any reason, please let us know so we can make note of it. It's part of the COVID-19 protocol. So every week after the practice session is done, we're supposed to send a record of the contact tracing log and the other waivers to Ontario Soccer, so they have an idea of who's in and out of the place. So we ask if there's any reason why somebody cannot show up for practice, please just send us a quick email just saying, hey, I'm going out of town. We'll be back 2 days from now. That's more than enough. And then we can note it down so we can have everything on file. For uniform pickup, starting this Thursday till next Tuesday, we're always at Brockton. I know tomorrow is a holiday, so yeah, that's why tomorrow's out. But starting Thursday, Friday, I think this one is supposed to be Monday. We're always at Brockton for the pickup. So you're welcome to pass by anytime, just let us know. You don't even have to let us know you're coming, but between those hours, there's someone's gonna be here all the time for you to pick up the uniforms. Office hours, again, we always have Roxanne to talk about anything. The best time for me to talk to you or Gonzalo to talk to you about your kid is not before the practice or after the practice. It's when we are all in a relaxed sitting where we can talk without worrying about who's near us or whatever, where we can express ourselves. Talking before the practice, me personally, most of the time when I'm coming to the practice, I'm just focused on the practice and delivering a good session for the boys. So talking to a parent about their kid before practice is not really ideal. after the practice, it's also not ideal because a lot of things could have happened on the field, and we just want to go back, reflect, do our debrief with the coaches, get everything out, and so we can rethink about the practice and see how we could have handled things better. So always the best time to talk is any day other than the practice, so we can be relaxed, chilled, and then talk over there. Health checks. So we strongly encourage all athletes to undergo a full medical every year. Present us with the results if you want. It's not mandatory, but we strongly encourage it. I really hope that we never have this episode of what happened 8 years ago again. I was on the bench back in 2012 when our U15 captain collapsed on the field on a Monday night and died. And we later found out after he died that he had a heart problem. And that is not something that, for me personally, I want to relive. And it would be best if all the kids have their medical checks. The parents know that there's nothing to worry about. The kids are good to go. And it gives you the peace of mind. And it also gives us the peace of mind. Because reliving that episode is not something that I want to ever do in my life. It changed me greatly on how I look at the sports. And it makes me realize how we take the little things for granted. And this could have been avoided if the health check was done, hopefully. But then I guess this is an experience that we have to live with, and always have to make sure it never happens again.
I have a question for you on that.
Yes.
So before Alex signed up, I did take him to his pediatrician, and she said that at his age, there isn't really anything that they look out for unless we have a concern. So we did get him tested for his heart somewhere else, not in Canada. We did have all his heart exams done, but is there anything else that you guys would recommend being done? Because the doctors here just don't do it unless there's a reason to be concerned.
That's where we try to get one of the sports doctors from Ontario Soccer to partner with them so they can go in, because you can only go there based on recommendations. So there's no doctors around who would just go to check for anything unless there's a recommendation. So we're still working on that to see if it will be possible for us to just send our players to the Ontario Soccer doctors so they can check them out, because they know what to look for. Because most doctors, as you said, pretty much most of the kids have gone and the same feedback was given. There's nothing really to check for there. Everything is fine unless there's something that's like an issue before they come in. Most of the time when there's an issue, it's always too late. So, but if, let's say, the kid feels anything unusual, that is more than enough to have them checked out. If he's
okay, but the main concern for you guys would be a heart checkup then?
Ideally, yes.
Ideal. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So other than that, like, no, you guys don't need any type of blood work, any lung x-rays or anything of that sort. It's just mostly concerned with heart condition.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the question?
Is phase one limiting the number of kids on the field?
So yes, phase one is limiting the number of kids on the field. And the quarter of the field, we're only allowed to have 10 players in each quarter. So max we can have is 40 players in phase one. That's why we're gonna have just the 10 grades in each quarter. Any other one? Okay. So yeah, for this, that is pretty much it for phase one. I'm gonna also send the presentation out just so you have an idea and you can go through it later on. Also, when we move to phase two, we're gonna let everybody know. We're gonna send out the other presentation and how the practices are gonna be, so you also have an idea and you're always on the same page. So if you have any other questions, you can throw it at me now, or you're more than welcome to give me a call or send me an email whenever you can. It's not a problem. And if there's none, that's pretty much it for today. Just want to say thank you for joining us and taking the time out, and hope to see you all next week, Tuesday. Really looking forward to it. It's been a while. So see you all soon.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Have a good weekend,
Thanks,
everyone,
Sam.
and happy Canada
You
Day.
too.
Yeah.
Happy
you too.
Canada Day.
Take care.
Thank you, Sam.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, everyone.
Thanks, Megan.
No problem. Well, any of the coaches from last session. That's an anonymous question.
What was the question?
Will any of the coaches from last session be present?
Yes. I think the only one who's not going to be here is Fernando, because he leaves for Portugal next week. Right. Everybody else is going to be here.
Great. Thank you so much for answering all the questions.
No problem. You're welcome.
Braden's super nervous about returning, so I'm not sure how it's going to go.
I totally understand, and this is what I keep telling the parents. If they're not ready, it's okay. They can stay home until the other phase. Because for me,
Yeah.
it's totally different. Even for me, it's totally different. Like being on the field.
I think what freaks him out is like having to pretty much be more independent in the sense where like we drop him off and he sort of like goes in on his own, has to answer these questions, right? That is scaring him a little bit. We're gonna try it out. We'll see how it works. But
Definitely. But yeah, you can.
I just had one more question. Just on the way out, when they're done their practice, will anyone walk them out, like to make sure that they're given to their parents, right? Because like, these are little kids, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's going to be somebody at that gate giving out the hand sanitizer, and then either Megan or anybody else is going to be there. And normally, yesterday I walked the kids to the gate.
Okay.
So I handed them off to those at the gates, and then those at the gate.
And also one volunteer at the sidewalk to make sure that.
Alex was on the side of making sure that they went to their parents. So yeah.
Okay, great. And then do you know how parking and stuff is? Because I'm traveling from Oakville, so I obviously have to stick around.
Street parking.
Yeah, street parking, or I think
Street parking. Or Duffer Mall.
Duffer Mall, yeah.
Okay, so we'll see you on Tuesday, and hopefully he will go. Awesome.
It'll be fine.
Thanks so
No
much,
problem.
guys.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.